They call it a pet rock. They call it a barbarous relic. They tell you it pays no interest, has no utility, and belongs in a museum alongside dinosaur bones. Turn on any major financial news channel, and you will hear the exact same script repeated ad nauseum. Don't buy gold, buy stocks, buy bonds, trust the currency. But ask yourself this: if gold is so useless, why do central banks hoard tons of it in deep underground vaults protected by armed guards and steel doors? If it's an outdated relic, why are nations like China, Russia, and even Western powers buying it at the fastest pace in 50 years? There is a glitch in the matrix. They are lying to you. They don't hate gold because it's worthless. They hate gold because it is the only thing they cannot print, control, or track. They hate it because it tells the truth about their dying currency. Today, we expose the hidden war on real money. Wake up! This is Unmasking Money. The enemy of the debt matrix. To understand why the system hates gold, you have to understand what the system actually is. The modern financial world is built entirely on debt. It is a house of cards held together by the belief that a piece of paper or a digital number on a screen has value because the government says it does. Gold is the enemy of this illusion. Gold is the ultimate whistleblower. When the price of gold goes up, it's not because gold is changing. An ounce of gold is the same today as it was in ancient Rome. It goes up because the currency is dying. It exposes the incompetence of governments and the greed of central bankers. If everyone moved their savings into physical gold, the fractional reserve banking system would collapse overnight. Why? Because they can't lend out your gold 10 times over like they do with your cash. They can't inflate it away to pay for their wars and their welfare programs. Gold is the handcuffs on the politicians' spending spree, and that is why they need you to hate it. The 1971 crime scene. The war on gold wasn't always this subtle. In the past, money was gold, but in 1971, the connection was severed. The United States government, under President Nixon, temporarily suspended the convertibility of the dollar into gold. That temporary measure became permanent, and it changed the course of human history. This was the moment the theft began. Before 1971, governments were disciplined by gold. They couldn't print money endlessly because they needed the gold to back it up. By removing gold from the system, they gave themselves the power to print infinite amounts of currency. This is why the cost of living has skyrocketed. This is why you work harder for less. They didn't make things more expensive. They made your money worth less. And the only way to hide this crime is to convince you that gold, the measuring stick of value, is irrelevant. The paper gold trap. Even when they let you invest in gold, they set a trap. It's called paper gold, ETFs, futures contracts, and digital certificates. Wall Street created these financial products to divert your demand away from the real metal. For every ounce of physical gold in the vaults, there are hundreds of paper claims trading on the market. It is a game of musical chairs. They sell you a piece of paper that says gold, but if everyone tried to claim their metal at once, the system would default. They push these paper products because they can control the price of paper. They can short sell it, manipulate it, and suppress it. But they cannot print physical metal. Real wealth is heavy. It takes up space. If you can't hold it in your hand, you don't own it. You just own a promise from a bankrupt system. The propaganda machine. You have been conditioned to see gold as risky and the stock market as safe. This is a masterclass in psychological manipulation. Think about who gives you financial advice. Major banks, investment firms, and financial news networks. How do they make money? They make money when you trade active stocks, when you buy their mutual funds, and when you stay inside their digital casino. Gold pays them no fees. It sits silently in your possession. It doesn't need a fund manager. It doesn't need a broker. It generates zero revenue for Wall Street. So naturally, they mock it. They use the media to paint gold investors as paranoid doomsday preppers or tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists. They shame you into compliance, making you feel stupid for wanting to own the one asset that has preserved wealth for 5,000 years. When they came for it, you might think they can discourage it, but they can't stop me from owning it. Think again. History proves that when the system gets desperate, the mask comes off completely. In 1933, under Executive Order 6102, the United States government made it illegal for citizens to own gold. They didn't confiscate stocks. They didn't confiscate real estate. They came for the gold. They forced citizens to turn it in exchange for paper money and then immediately devalued that paper money. Why? Because a free citizen holding gold is independent of the state. A citizen holding paper is a servant to the state. This wasn't ancient history. It happened less than 100 years ago in the so-called land of the free. And as our current debt spiral spins out of control, do not think for a second that they wouldn't try to lock the exit doors again. The ultimate hypocrisy. Here is the smoking gun. While they tell you gold is trash, look at what they are doing with their own hands. In the last 2 years, central banks globally have bought more gold than at any time since 1967. They are dumping dollars and loading up on the metal. This is the ultimate do as I say, not as I do. They know the Fiat experiment is failing. They are preparing for the Great Reset. But they need you to stay in the burning building, holding the paper bags, while they quietly secure the lifeboats. They are front-running the collapse, and their strategy depends on your ignorance. The digital prison versus the golden key. We are moving toward a cashless society. Central bank digital currencies, or CBDCs, are coming. This is the final step in their control. Programmable money that they can turn off if you disobey, money that expires if you don't spend it, money that tracks every single transaction. In a digital world, gold becomes more than just an investment. It becomes an act of rebellion. It is the only financial asset that is off the grid. It cannot be hacked, it cannot be frozen, and it cannot be deleted by a bureaucrat with a keystroke. This is why the war on gold is intensifying. They are building a digital prison, and gold is one of the few remaining keys to unlock the door. They discourage it because they don't want you to have an exit strategy. The system wants you to be a worker, a consumer, and a debtor. It does not want you to be sovereign. Owning gold is a declaration of independence. It is a vote of no confidence in their ability to manage the economy. So the next time you hear an expert on TV laughing about gold, remember who pays his salary. Remember the vaults beneath their feet. And before you go, I have a question for you. If the dollar collapses tomorrow and everything goes digital, do you hold the keys to your own wealth? Or does the system hold them for you? Let me know your answer in the comments. Subscribe and hit the notification bell. The war on your wealth is real, and we are just getting started unmasking it.